Hello and welcome to Game Train's coverage of the Next Generation Week here. That's right, we are doing daily podcasts at the moment for you all. These are little mini podcasts where we're going to be going over everything that has been releasing over this week, etc. We did the Xbox Series S yesterday. We're now doing the Yakuza 7 Like a Dragon review. But joining me, as always, is Carl Lyrical Smith. Hello, Carl.
Hello, Callan. Thank you for having me.
Hello, welcome. We're on day 2 of our Next Gen coverage. How are you feeling? Because I'm going to ask
I'm
you,
feeling good.
I'm probably going to ask you at day 10 as well. How are you feeling by that stage?
Yeah. Okay. So far, good. So far, still good.
Good. So yeah, these are, as I said, these are mini episodes, folks. We're broadcasting live on Twitch. It is the 7th of November, 2020. Remember, guys, you can always tune at twitch.tv/GameTrain Twitch for these little live specials that we do each evening. But anyway, so tonight's review is Yakuza Like a Dragon. So let's get stuck straight into it, folks. We are keeping things fast and brief here as we do this. So let's go. So Yakuza Like a Dragon is developed by Ryuga Gotoku Studio and published by Sega. It is like, what would you call it? They call it Yakuza 7. But it's like almost like the 9th game in the franchise, because there was also Yakuza 0, and we've also had Judgment, which is all tied into the same world.
Yeah, it's all the same universe. It's like part of the big YCU.
Yeah, exactly. So the story is this one: you play as a new character for the first, for not the first time in the Yakuza series, because in Judgment you played as the detective in that one, but this is the first time you're playing as a different Yakuza. You play as Ichiban, no, it's Ichiban Kasuga.
I like Ichiban.
Yeah, Ichiban Kasuga. He is a Yakuza who has a fall from grace and falls out with the Yakuza. I won't go into the details why. And it's about his sort of rebuilding of his life again. Ichiban's kind of a different character to what you've been used to. He's a lot less serious. He's a lot more jovial as a Yakuza sort of person. And he's a big video game nerd too, where he sort of refers to everything in life as playing through an RPG, because he's a big fan of Dragon Quest.
Yes, specifically Dragon Quest.
Indeed. He's even got like the hair like a Dragon Quest character later on.
Yeah, the spiky hair.
Yeah. So, yes. So you start out the game in the classic Kamurocho city like you have in all the other Yakuza games, but you end up going to a new place they've made of Yokohama, where they've made a brand new city for this game, which is really cool to get out and experience a new area and all that. So it does very feel much like, obviously, a brand new Yakuza game with a new protagonist, a new city, and all these things, but it's still got all those throwbacks to the original, like Kamurocho town and all that at the start of the game, which is really cool. And the big change from the all the other Yakuza games and and Judgment is that the others were all real-time fighting, where it was almost like this arcadey style, sort of beat 'em up style in the fights.
Yeah, like a versus fight in that moment, and special moves and stuff.
Yeah, and all that sort of thing. But this time, they've done something completely different, which took everyone by surprise when they did announce this, that it is going to be turn-based RPG combat. And it was a very much of a like, wow, how are you guys going to pull this one off?
Yeah, and you could see in all the footage in early trailers and announcements that it looked so similar to Yakuza anyway. So it wasn't like the camera wasn't pulled back. It wasn't like side to side like in some turn-based games or anything.
Yeah.
There wasn't, so it's like, wait, this is going to be weird. This won't fit.
Yeah, exactly. It's a weird thing, because I generally enjoyed the Yakuza combat, because I've played some of them now. I've played Yakuza 6 and Judgment, which I both really enjoyed. And then going from that into a turn-based, I was like, oof, is this going to work? Well, I can tell you guys right now, it does work. They've done a fantastic job of this, taking this old-school beat-em-up style combat into this turn-based RPG. So pretty much you have about 4 characters in your party. You take it in turns to do basic attacks or special moves against the enemy, and of course they can do moves against you too. Much like the Paper Mario games, you can add in extra inputs for extra damage and extra defense, etc. So it's a bit more flexible as well. It's not just hit A and go. It's okay, A, then you might X, Y, etc. Then you might B to block when someone attacks you at the right time.
It reminded me a little bit of, it brought me back to Final Fantasy VIII with the gun blades.
Oh, yeah.
Press a button just as you hit, and you get like an extra 50% of damage in there.
Yeah.
And I remember, because that was one of the early games for me, like one of my first experiences in turn-based battle. But from then on, I always had this weird habit of pressing a button as soon as you hit again in any RPG.
Yep.
So now it's finally coming in handy.
Yeah, it is. It is. So yeah, the combat's still quick. It's still got that over-the-top Yakuza feel to it. To keep that sort of that essence of Yakuza throughout the combat, which has been really, really good. And what I felt with the combat straight up was that it had a very Persona 5 feel to it as well, which was really nice.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I got a lot of Persona 5 vibes from the combat, which was really cool. But
Persona vibes.
Yeah. Sorry, Persona vibes. Yeah, exactly. But also, on top of the turn-based combat, there's a bunch of new RPG elements in this game. So in the other ones, you used to get like skill points, you put them into skills and upgrade skills, etc. This time, there are different jobs that you can like learn, much like the Final Fantasy job system. But you can switch the jobs pretty much whenever you want. This is the great part, where you go into their version of Centrelink.
Oh, nice.
And you go in there and you change jobs in there.
That's just so good.
It's so good. It's such a simple thing, but goddamn, it's clever. It's like really clever stuff. So you can be like a brawler or a hero or a bartender, and there's all these different random classes, and they work as like your normal fighters or paladins or mages, etc. But they've just got all these weird and different names.
Yep.
Which is very cool. Also, on top of switching the jobs, you can bring over some skills from other jobs once you level them up into your other jobs as well. So you might be able to take, like, let's say, increase attack power skill, and you might be able to get your job up to that level to learn that, and then that is available for all jobs, which is very cool. It gives you that customization, like, okay, I'm not really interested in the bartender class, but I really like this buff that I will get if I get to this level for everything else. So I'll level up bartender to level 10 or whatever, and you can bring that skill then into everything else, which is really nice as well.
Okay.
So it gives that flexibility on sort of how you build your characters, etc. And of course,
quite a bit of strategy in just the stats.
Yeah, there is. It's surprisingly there is. And of course, yeah, you got 4 players in your team, so you want like a fighter, a mage style, maybe like a healer, and then someone that maybe takes a lot of the damage. So you try and mix and match your party around depending on that for their different jobs and skills, and try and get all that in synergy of one another. And so you do level up. Your character levels go up and your job levels go up. So there's 2 different levels that are constantly going up throughout the game as well.
Nice.
So there's different things to watch there.
It's like personality sort of thing, yeah?
Yeah, well, the personality is another thing that comes into it. On top of that, again, you can raise your different personality levels throughout the game, which gives you access to more buffs and skills again. That is only on Ichiban only, not the other characters. But yeah, throughout the game, doing different tasks and things and how you answer in certain conversations will raise different parts of your personality, and then thus eventually give you different buffs throughout the game, which is another way they've integrated those RPG elements and different ways of building your character throughout the game, which is really, really cool. Also, they've got weapon crafting in this as well, and weapon upgrades. Nice. So you can craft weapons and upgrade them with materials you find in the world. And there is also gear, so you can equip like armor and hats and things like this in the game as well for different buffs along the way, and upgrade them all as well. So there's a lot of customization, there's a lot of things to do just around the RPG elements, which is really, really cool to see. They've gone all in on this. It's not RPG light, this is RPG heavy here. There is a lot going on there on how you can customize and change things for your team.
Yeah, it just sounds like a straight up RPG.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a lot of cinematics.
Which is great, because sometimes, when a game maybe ditches their genre and switches genre, which we've seen in the past, to like an RPG style format, it's like RPG light, but this is, they've gone all in, which has been really, really cool.
Very brave.
Indeed. So, like any Yakuza game, there is a lot to do in terms of side missions and things. They haven't skimmed on the side missions. There's tons and tons of side missions. So, there's a heap, including things like there's like almost like a Pokedex. Like every time you beat an enemy, it gets lodged into this Pokedex, and you try and fill out it's got a different name, etc. But it's like a Pokedex from like 1 to 250 different enemies, etc. Which is
Nice.
Which is really cool. Also, there is and there was something else that I was going to mention in terms of that. Oh yeah, there's like these mini achievements as well throughout the game, like getting 10 fights and you get bonuses, or it might be like, talk to X amount of people, you get bonuses, etc. So there's all those little like mini achievements within the game as well, which is really cool to see, like additional goals. And then there's all these crazy mini games in the game too. So like the other Yakuza games, you can go to a Sega arcade and play Sega games and all that, which is kind of cool, like Virtua Fighter and I think it's Phantasy Stars one in there. Outrun.
Oh, it's Fantasy Stars there.
Yeah, I think
Fantasy
Outrun's
Stars.
in there as well. All these classic sort of Sega games, which has been really cool to see, to jump in and try those out. But then there's all these other wacky things, which I'll just gloss over quickly. So there's like this, there's an exam center where you can go take exams, and you might be like, oh yeah, okay, friggin' whatever. No, there's like 15 to 20 different categories, ranging from sport to health to Sega, etc. And you sit these exams and you've got to answer the questions, and they're not just easy things. Like some of these are really damn difficult questions.
Holy shit.
But it's really freaking cool. 'Cause I keep finding myself, every time I get enough money to go take another course in this little exam room, I find myself wandering back there to go take another exam. I did a mathematics one with like equations and shit as well.
Oh.
And
Wow. What is this world coming to? If I told fucking 16-year-old Carl that one day, when I'm 34, I will be playing maths exams for fun
yeah.
in a video game.
Yeah, but it's actually
Why?
fun. It's fun to challenge yourself and try and get through them. So you only need to get 3 out of the 5 questions for each exam right to progress, which is cool.
Yep.
But yeah, at the same time, it's like, cool, I'm going to test myself here. And I'm like, wonder what sort of questions they have. And there's some damn good general knowledge questions and stuff all filtered throughout there and stuff. They're not just easy stuff.
It's really fascinating. I love that they just go all out in their side quests and mini games.
Yep, exactly. There's another one which is called Dragon Kart, which is a take on Mario Kart as well. So
Wow.
you get a kart that you can upgrade and go in all these races and eventually become the top racer. So again, another crazy mini game in this game with customization and all that.
Wow. So it's not just a one side game. It's like a thing you build up and pay attention to.
Exactly, and upgrade your cart and things like that and all that. There's another one where you ride a bike around collecting cans, which is actually really addictive. It sounds basic, but it's actually really addictive. It's really fun. You got to collect these cans, and there's like turbo boosts, and there's enemy riders, and they can steal your cans. If they crash into you, you lose cans. But if you crash in them with a turbo boost, you steal some cans off then. And you got to get
Nice.
you got to get a certain amount of cans within the time limit, sort of thing.
It's so Sega. It reminds me of the concept, just like a Crazy Taxi or something.
Yeah, exactly. And
Something
then
boring but made fun.
And then there's this whole other mini game of managing a business where you hire and fire staff, outfit your business with different items and things, eventually buy other businesses. You watch the stock market through there as your stocks climb. It's just the most ridiculous thing.
Oh my goodness.
There is a lot to this game, folks. Plus, you got your normal darts challenges and karaoke and all a baseball, etc. So all those make a return in Yakuza as well. So there is a lot going on there.
It seems that's such a huge game.
Yeah. There is a lot of content here, and from playing it so far, obviously I haven't finished it yet because it's such a massive game. I think I'm up to chapter 5 out of 14.
Ooh, okay. Nice.
Yeah, so it's again like Yakuza games. It's quite a big, lengthy game. Lots of twists and turns in the story to come and all that sort of stuff. So I'm really looking forward.
Betrayals and whatnot.
Yeah, exactly. Crazy stuff happens. Oh, that's right. The other thing in combat, you get summons as well.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So just another little tip to the old Final Fantasy. I'm so sorry, Carl, for spoiling so much of this for you in this conversation.
That's okay. That's okay. Like, it spoils a bit for me, but sometimes I think people might need these particular spoilers are the type that you need to convince someone who's not into Yakuza to be like, okay, it really is just
an
RPG.
Well, has this conversation made you want to play the game a bit more, knowing how much depth there is to it?
Yeah, that, like, knowing that they've kept the charm and the silliness of the Yakuza brand, but that they've actually gone all out. It's not just tacked it on, which that's what impresses me, and that's what makes me curious to jump in.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, for me, look, I think this is a good place to start in the Yakuza series because 1 to 6 or 0 to 6, you were with the same protagonist, and it was a big build-off story. Then you had Judgment, which was its own side story. Now you got this new Ichiban Kusaga story as well. So it's a good place to jump into the series with a different feel to the game, but you still get all those great Yakuza elements there.
Yeah, all the silly side quests. I feel that that's just as much of the, story as just as much of the franchise as the crazy fights and hitting people with bicycles and swings and whatnot.
Yeah, exactly. But then it's also got all those themes of like the Yakuza gangs and all that going on throughout too, which is really
heavy
cool. Story.
Yeah,
exactly. So that was my thoughts and feelings on Yakuza because I did play a lot more than you have so far.
Yes. Did you have a score for it?
We weren't really scoring these little mini episodes. We're just sort of giving everyone a rundown on what it is and sort of our thoughts and feelings on it. Maybe come back to me in a month or two once I've gotten through the whole thing.
Of course.
In the middle of one of the episodes, and I might say what it's worth. But at the moment, I think it's definitely high 8s in terms of what I'm enjoying from it. And that could very well go up depending how the story rolls on.
Yeah, of course. Cool. That's good to know.
Yeah. Is there anything else you'd like to add before we finish up?
No, I think you covered everything quite nicely there. Yeah, I haven't had quite as much of a play as you. I've only played maybe like 3 hours, so I'm right at the start, getting my first sort of feel of it all. But I was very impressed with the battle system as well. Yeah, and the quirky story just gets you kind of straight away. So
very nice.
I'm in.
All right, folks. Thank you all so much for listening to our next little edition of our Next Gen review style podcast. Remember, we'll be back tomorrow with another review on a game, etc., or hardware. Will be a game tomorrow again. Until then, folks, have a good one, and this has been Game Train.